I did that for my ankle this back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's movable.
All right. This song has been just a little. Reverend Mark's gonna be talking about egos and stuff like that. Legos, egos, egos.
Lego my ankle.
Here we go. Well, everything's black or white with you. Everything's either false or true. Everything's either yes or no. Ain't no maybe, no, I guess so. Ain't no in between, no gray. Ain't no bend, ain't no sway. Everything's either hot or rigid. You're gonna hurt your head if you stay that rigid. Lighten up. Bend just a little, the end works good, now work on the middle. Roll with the punch, go with the flow, float like a leaf on the tide. Forget about where you're going and enjoy the ride. Well, there's roses out there needing smelling. There's a thank you, Lord, needing the yelling. Just haul off and get a little crazy. It won't hurt nothing just to be a little lazy. I'm a firm believer in getting it done. There ain't no losses, it can't be fun. Life's going on right now, my friend. You gotta go on acting like you're waiting for the end. Lighten up. Bend just a little, the end works good, now work on the middle. Roll with the punch, go with the flow, float like a leaf on the tide. Forget about where you're going and enjoy the ride. Can I have a little more piano in the monitor, please? Up, bend just a little, the end works good, now work on the middle. Roll with the punch, go with the flow, float like a leaf on the tide. Forget about where you're going, it don't matter where you're going. No, you probably want to make it anyway and enjoy the ride.
Have a nice trip.
Instruments, rattle your chakras.
Rattle your chakras.
Rattle your chakras. Where the spirit of love is, there is freedom. Where the spirit of love is, there is freedom. It is freedom, walk in our liberty. We're gonna walk. We will walk in our freedom, walk in our liberty. Let's dance. We will dance in our freedom, dance in our liberty. We will dance in our freedom, dance in our liberty. Where the spirit of love is, there is freedom. Where the spirit of love is, there is freedom. There is peace. There is hope. There is joy. It is for freedom that we are free. It is for freedom that we are free. I'm free. I'm free. I'm free. I'm free. All right. We got some new songs today, and I'll pull these out in a few weeks. We'll do them again so everybody can learn how they go. Including us. I've been wandering in this blind spot for so long, till every turn I take seems to be the wrong one. Everywhere I look I see endless possibilities, and all I know I need is just a little faith. Just a little faith when the storms of life are blowing. Just a little faith will get you where you're going. When you're inspired by dreams inside your mind, but in your life they seem so hard to find. You can make them all appear. Just hold that picture loud and clear, and all you'll need to add is just a little faith. Just a little faith when the storms of life are blowing. Give me some faith. Just a little faith will get you where you're going. Again. Just a little faith is all it takes to get your feet put back in place. It's all you'll ever need, y'all. Ask and know that you'll receive. Act as if you do believe. Don't give God a chance to call. You can really have it all. Just a little faith when the storms of life are blowing. Just a little faith will get you where you're going. Just a little faith when the storms of life are blowing. Just a little faith will get you where you're going. Let's do it again. Just a little faith when the storms of life are blowing. Just a little faith will get you where you're going.
Yay! Fun song. You're up, lady.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Nope. Am I wrong? Do we have another? Do we have another before?
We just did 3.
I thought so.
Yeah. You're just having so much fun. You just.
I know. I wanted to keep.
And
on
the
singing.
music was
Oh, good.
different in the book, but other.
Oh man. Oh, Hold on, y'all. Bear with me.
Give her cheaters.
All right. Today's country is the Czech Republic. Yes. The Czech Republic. Huh?
I like Czech.
Me too. Especially the chocolate ones are really good. Anyway, the Czech Republic is a country in Eastern Europe, and it used to be joined with Slovakia in a single country, Czechoslovakia. That was one of our spelling bee words back in the day. These two countries split apart in 1993, and the two formed individual governments. This country is a favorite destination for travelers, and it's known for the many spa towns along the German border. There are a variety of interesting facts about this country, and some of the known and unknown facts include the following. The Czech Republic citizens consume more beer per capita than any other country in the world.
Pilsner.
I beg to differ. That's Milwaukee, okay, where I'm from. They consume more beer per capita, but if they say so, I'll take their word for it. There are many beers that are locally produced, and Pilsner Urquell is a perennial local favorite. Prague is internationally known for the many clubs and bars that offer citizens and visitors one of the most exciting nightclub scenes in the world. The Czech Republic is the second wealthiest country in Eastern Europe, behind Slovenia. The per capita GDP of this country is close to Portugal and Greece. The GDP of Prague is twice the national average. Part-time workers work more hours, 24, in this country than any other, although it is rare for people to work jobs that aren't full-time. Now, this country has the second highest mortality rate for cancer after Hungary, and it has more hospital beds per citizen than any other country in the European Union. And I wonder if that has to do with drinking all that beer. And working the full time. Yeah, stress. Oof. Maybe that's why they drink the beer. I don't know. There are many famous people who were born in this country. The inventor of the soft contact lens, Otto Wittry, was born in the Czech Republic, and he invented this product in 1959. And the writer Franz Kafka was also born in this country, though he wrote mostly in German. Now, this Kafka dude, he actually wound up in our dictionary for Kafkaesque, which is a term that means being in an impossible situation and being sane, but everything around you, especially the bureaucracy, makes absolutely no sense.
Oh, we're starting to
Yes.
get the feel of that lately.
Yes. So have we been Kafka? Anyway,
Happy coffee.
I don't know. I'm not going to go there. The Czech Republic has a long history, and it has been a part of many important kingdoms and empires throughout its existence. It was originally comprised of the Bohemian Kingdom. Okay, I'm not going to bust into Bohemian Rhapsody every time I see that word. And the March of Moravia, where they were part of the Holy Roman Empire. From 1526 until 1918, it was a member of the Habsburg Empire. Czechoslovakia was formed after the First World War, and this country was a single governmental entity until the Czech Republic and Slovakia split in 1993. So join me as we pray for peace in Czech Republic.
Amen.
All right. May peace prevail in the Czech Republic. May peace prevail on earth.
And
May peace prevail in me.
Peace is the promise I made today. There's nothing greater for me to say than to lay down my fears, lay down unhappiness and surrender to the peace I choose today. Peace is the gift that I give today. No easy shortcut. Peace is the way. I will lay down my pride, lay down self-righteousness and surrender to the peace I choose today. This is the reason we're here.
So as we breathe all those words into our heart and let them just vibrate through our whole body peacefully and surrender to it, and to know that really that's all we really want. It's all the biggest lessons. Everything under the heading of peace will be ours. All the joys, all the wants in our lives, all the dreams we have. If we're peaceful, all those things will occur for us. Every desire, every thought that you may have of adventure, from that peaceful place we create that, and from that peaceful place we surrender to each other so that we can create that with each other. Getting past those notions of ego that sometimes blind us from seeing the light and blind us from seeing the peace within each other and within our own selves. And as we recognize our brothers and sisters in the Czech Republic and in places that have come together, formed one country out of two, melding together the cultures, melding together the ideas and the philosophies and all the different philosophies, there had to be a surrendering to peace for that to happen. So we come together to do that same thing and to remind ourselves. And as we move into the tithing portion of the service, you see that mirror there. And remember that the most important part of the gift, regardless of what money you may put in the slot to support us, is to look into your eyes, to surrender to that peace within you, to surrender to your brother and sister beside you and say, yes, I believe in peace, and peace be with me, and peace be with you. And so it is. I'm going to talk about it.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Whoa, grateful. I'm so 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 grateful. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. 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 All right, let's have some fun here. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded who we've come to be. We are love, we are one. One big family. Hey, hey. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
We will have no breath forever. Yeah, love feeds my soul.
I know everybody's
That's
familiar
my
with this
guitar.
tonight.
Spirit in the world filled with heartache and sorrow, I have found your love feeds my soul. Spirit, when I'm feeling that I can't face tomorrow, I have found your love feeds my soul. I have found your love feeds my soul. I have found your love feeds my soul. It's better than life, so I glorify you. Spirit within me, cry out your name. I have found your love feeds my soul. Spirit, when the stresses of this life weigh upon me, I have found your love feeds my soul. Spirit, when my dreams are laying in ruin before me, I have found your love feeds my soul. I have found your love feeds my soul. I have found your love feeds my soul. It's better than life, so I glorify you. Spirit within me, cry out your name. I have found your love feeds my soul. I have found your love feeds my soul. I have found your love feeds my soul. It's better than life, so I glorify you. Spirit within me, cry out your name. I have found your love feeds my soul. When darkness is wielding the sword of despair, I cry out to God, hear my prayer. And suddenly joy rises up from within, and I know that you'll always be there. I have found your love feeds my soul. I have found your love feeds my soul. It's better than life, so I glorify you. Spirit within me, cry out your name. I have found your love feeds my soul.
Let's make some noise. I have found your love feeds my soul. Yeah.
I have found your love feeds my soul. It's better than life, so I glorify you. Spirit within me, cry out your name. I have found your love feeds my soul.
I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. I got joy. I got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain in my soul. I got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain in my soul. I got love like an ocean. I got love like an ocean. I got love love like an ocean. I got love like an ocean in my soul. I got love like an ocean. I got love like an ocean. I got love like an ocean in my soul. Peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got joy like a fountain. I got love like an ocean in my soul. I got peace like a river. I got joy like a fountain. I got love like an ocean in my soul. I got peace like a river in my soul. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I didn't go to my.
Uh-oh.
I know, I remember. And we have a square. So if anybody wants to do their tithing later via technology, we have a square. And I have a microphone. Good morning, everybody. Whew. Is this on? Yes, it is. So let's take some deep breaths and catch our breath and vibrate even more joy and love off our heart chakras. So deep breath in and some noise on the way out. We're going to do that 2 more times. I invite us to breathe in deeper and exhale longer. So deep breath in. And be really present with yourself on this last one. Sometimes I'll really point this one out. Take the time to breathe in gently all the way in, knowing that as you exhale all of your breath completely, that very next moment gets to be a brand new moment for you and all the ego cells within. So deep breath in. Everybody's all cozy again. So, announcements. Just as a friendly reminder, if you haven't filled out a membership form, or if you're new, like hello, fill one of these out so that you can be on our mailing list, you can be on our pod alert list or pod newsletter, and you can be part of our member officially. So we have to increase our membership every year, and we want to always know that we can get in contact with you in your email and let you know of all the wonderful things going on at the pod day and night. And today we have our talk, Lego My Ego, or /ego. And tonight we have a really neat lady, Tonya Rekla, and she's going to be, what's the title? Claim Your Superpower or Find Your Superpowers Are Real. Talk a little bit about it. You guys, you know her, right? Good, because I'll cool off in front of the fan while you're talking.
Yes, and we have the honor of also having her husband and her 7-year-old daughter who has superpower kids. She's kind of a collector of individuals that are really tapped in to all of those things that, intuition, telepathy, levitating. I mean, it's just fascinating. But she's here tonight to talk to you about superpowers, your superpowers. But I also talked to her yesterday, and I think she's going to do some readings for people too, it sounded like last night.
Yeah, at a conversation, she's like, sure.
Yeah, so if you come and you have something burning inside of you that you want clarity or insight on, she's remarkable at that.
Well, I'm not cool. I'm cool, I'm small. That's old Steve Martin routine. 6 o'clock to 7:15, but it may go longer because she might do readings and stuff like that for us. So that's going to be groovy. It's going to be fun. Next week, the talks are going to be entitled For the Greater Good. So I think you can run that around in your body and have a little bit idea of what that talk will be about. And then for diversity night next week, a couple weeks ago we did some automatic writing, so we're going to play with it longer because we have from 6 to 7:15. So Becky handed me this book called The Power of Your Other Hand, so we're going to play with it and get to just hang out in it more and do some automatic writing and just be aware, because I have my own take on this. I could write my own book around this. So I can draw from this book, bring me to the game, and let's play with it, see what exercises they have in there. But one of the things I know, and we'll get into when we talk today, is that the power of the other hand, you may get in touch with people inside that you didn't think you were going to get in touch with. You thought, oh, my inner child, or oh, that divine high self. Yeah. And all the people in between, which we'll be talking about a little bit more today. So come on out for that. That's going to be fun. We've got more things already planned. I know we just had a meeting. Refresh my memory.
I don't even think I told you this one. I heard from Kamari. Kamari is a intuitive shop, sort of all these things, all these higher things in spirit world. Yes, she sent me her little bio thing, and I was going, oh my God, and I thought all you did was bless pets. No. She is coming on for Diversity Night on June the 4th, and it's going to be a pet anointing, and she's going to do a little talk, and you can bring your pets, and please either in a box or a cage or on a leash or something. No running around loose pets. But she's, and I'll be posting this more, but I want you to mark that on your calendars because it's going to be amazing. I think we'll probably have a really good crowd. Last time she came here, which was years ago, we had a lot of people, so it was really good. And I want you to mark your calendars. July 15th, and I know that's a long time away, but July 15th, we're going to do another speed healing. So mark your calendars. It's where we have 6 different modalities of healing, 2 providers at each, and you have to pre-register and prepay to do this. And we have people come through, and you spend 10 minutes at each station, and it's a blast. It's a blast. How many people have done that before, gone through the speed healing thing? It's really cool. So, so we're going to do that. So mark your calendar, July 15th. I think that's it.
Yeah, not like today where it's going to be all fizzly. I'm teasing. I'm joking. I am totally busting your chops. We could do that here, man. Yes, and that, yeah, we weren't done. She was just going to. Let me tag one more thing onto that, because as we talk about egos, and when we're allowed to lift each other up in a good way, this is Becky's brainchild of Love Yourself Day. To honor that creation, whoops, that came from you, and it's brought so much healing already to the people. So we are allowed to give each other attaboys and say thank you for that brilliance and wonder that came from you. And now there'll be drum circle. Yes, let's sit in that for a minute. Let's all look at Becky. Nah. Okay. I love you. So, and the drum circle happens every second and fourth Tuesday, and that's with Fred Goodnight. We'll do Diversity Night drum circles, which is just us hanging out, but Fred will teach. Fred will bring all the nuances of Fred to the game, and you guys have been doing this here for years. Fred's been doing it in our county, well, more than our county. He's been doing it for touching people with rhythm for years and years and years and years. So we can, another invite back idea is Fred, and having another night like that where he brought all, it was awesome, right? So we're always coming up with ideas. We forget, gold oldies but goodies. Sometimes it's been a while. Let's bring that back, because everybody enjoyed the wonder of Fred Goodnight when he comes and brings all his stuff and just takes us on a journey through pots and pans and all kinds of stuff with rhythm and sound, and it's groovy. And on Wednesday, Thursdays, we're going to have a class by Mr. Dale, and it is do you know how to turn that mic up? The house mic? Okay. Okay. But we also do that on purpose for live streaming, so that when people...
So the class is titled Wisdom from the World's Religions, and we're going to just explore all the nuances and different ways people have expressed their spirituality. And part of the class is going to be, and a very important part of the class is everybody participating. So we'll talk about, say, Hinduism one night, and then everybody will hopefully practice and learn from Hinduism for a week, and then we'll come back. The first part of the class, the next week, will be everybody talking and sharing their experiences. So it's going to be hopefully a period of expansion and growth for everyone. 8th, I think.
8th, which is a Thursday. Yes, no one ever turned away, as all our groups here. You know, we always just want you to get it. That fortune table turns with everybody, misfortune and good fortune. So when you're in that moment of abundance, you're helping the next guy come in for free. So that's always been our philosophy. So any more announcements that we can think of? Some we can make up? No. I was just going to say that. That's okay. No, that's okay. That's okay. We're allowed to lift each other up. And I'm learning how to lift myself up. That's why this talk has been processing in me for 2 weeks. As soon as I put a title out there, the talk happened. So my book is finally here. It's a wonderful, humble beginning. And it's about to bring me forward. I always say it'd be easier for me if I were gay to come out of that shell or closet than to come out of the closet. So I've come out with my writing, with some of my philosophies, with some of the things that have happened to me in all the crazy stuff. And you know, in there, so many lessons in this for me. So thank you for sharing the joy, and there's even a dedication to the pod people in there. And then Keith and his wisdom put a blurb on the back about the pod and my connection with being a minister here and a spiritual leader, because minister to me just means to serve. We'll talk about some of that in that ego talk today too. So obviously I want to sell them, and everything that I'm throwing back into is reproducing that, you know, re-releasing it and finding that perfect illustrator and really bringing it to life. But guess what? Look, you can feel it and you can touch it, and it's tangible. It's now in form. And I wrote that 25 years ago. So yeah, about time. But all the lessons that have come along the way, and we'll talk about that some today. So there's no accidents how things show up in life and when they show up, because I've been processing ego stuff for a while. So yes, they're out there, they're for sale, and I appreciate the support. $10, $10, 10 buckaroos, not $9.95, $10, because I like that even world and not play mind games. And it's really easy for math too. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. And then I know how to tithe on 10 because it's 10. So anyway, thank you for the support and the joy I see in people's eyes, reflecting back in my giddiness right now, because there's a little kid here that's very giddy about that. And then, like I said, it's a beginning. It's a beginning. So, you know, here I come. So let's take another nice deep breath again and get back into, you know, I've been going on, that's funny, Post-it notes, and it fell. So it's got whose ever hairs on the floor, because I know I don't have long blonde hair. But, so I've been going into all these different talks lately, and I'm really, you know, for me, always wanting it to be recognized that it's an inside job. If you look at my flyer, and as I get more, even with my books and book titles, it's like I get more present with it and what I want on there. I would have told Keith, hey, put this on every single book I ever write, because what my mission is, and I write this on my flyers, is to take you on a journey to the center of a universe, a journey to the center of your inner space, all through the portals of your heart. So that's my mantra this lifetime. That's kind of like my wanting for people. And inside that inner space is a plethora of folks to meet. And so is inside your inner space. So we've been talking about incarnations and dimensions and taking leaps in other people and doing a walkabout in their body and appreciating the you and me and doing all those wonderful things which we want to do and we can achieve, and we do achieve all the time. But I'm going to suggest to you that we're only going to achieve that when our ego's out of the way, when we're truly present with each other beyond that I notion or that you notion. Even though we have all that wonderful I amness in the I am, and in that statement of I am that, comma, I am, that we heard from the burning bush, and to understand that as a manifesting statement in all we do, but also to understand that as in a collective statement of recognition for all we are. So it's a formulative statement for me to manifest. I am that writer that's about to be published and famous, comma, I am. Right? So that's that statement. But it's also a statement of recognition of I am that Becky, that beautiful soul over there. I am that beautiful soul, Margie and Alicia and Jerry and everyone in here. Because I just keep going names and we'd be done. To knowing that, I'm Kim and Dana and Jan. I say it every way. It's my little kid. Doesn't want to ever leave anybody out. And Ron, welcome Ron. And that guy who cut me off today on the way here, who was going so slow, he didn't deserve a license. And then to know that he slowed you down too, I noticed. And to know that I am that too. And as I've been doing this little mantra, it's like I've always known the statement, but it unlocked something for me. And it unlocks something for me, and even in my wisdoms or perceived wisdoms, to allow me to know that, you think you're done? You think you can't grow? You think you know it all? Didn't you get that drill already with the all-knowing tip of your tongue stuff and the blowing up philosophy? That the knowledge is there when you need it, and if you let your ego out of the way, it will be there cleanly, but your own ego can block you from your own wonder. And we do that with each other. So somewhere along the line, ego's been made bad, and it's not about bad, it's about, and I was helping somebody with this in a conversation the other day. Take good, bad, and all that right, wrong, and throw it away and say serve or disserve. So does this aspect, is this serving me or is this disserving me? And then we got to look at that broader picture. Is it serving me in relationship with this person, or is it disserving me? And then you may even ask the question sometimes, is their ego serving or disserving this relationship? Because we know you all have an opinion about other people's egos. It's innate for us to do so. So I liken it to like, okay, so sometimes we identify, and I've done similar talks like this because guess what? Inside job. There's only so many ways we can talk about it, or so many things we can talk about, and we'll just talk about it a bazillion different ways till we all get it clicked. When I first started coming to the pod, before it was even the pod, and I met Sue, I'm like, I don't need anybody teaching me about God, whatever that was, arrogant, pompous, or just a thing is what it is. But I went because of community. I went because of love. I know them. Melanie's songs inspired me, and I melted when I heard her voice. I was falling in love with people. And then because of who I am and honoring Sue, my sister, let me listen. Oh yeah, I know that. Great. I know it. Click. Oh, you said that differently. I knew it, but you said it differently. And now that clicked something in me differently. So I still get to honor other people's modalities and how they bring it to me, even if I already knew it. It's not about better. Remember that compare and compete. Take that away. It's more. It's the more. Like I'm always saying with Scott, we've created this and we've made it an entity. It's now a verb and a noun and everything. The more. It's going to be a movie. The more. Yeah, a home talk we also, and then I'll dedicate that to Scott. It's like because he brought me that lesson of the more of under in just those two words, because sometimes I make it too complex in my monkey mind with all the I gotta manifest and do this and hang at this angle with this chakra pointed that way with the crystal in between my pinky toe on a Wednesday facing north. And we'll have that many silly ego selves tell us that we have to go do all that to become enlightened or become awake. And really, it's just quieting that ego self and asking them to just hang out in it with you for a while. As you read the wisdom tree, you'll get that that's the whole gist of it, that here's this guy thinking wisdom is something to be sought, when it's something to be experienced and felt, and it will happen for you. We've met those children that we've said, oh, they're so wise beyond their years. And it's like, it's that same thing. And the way to get to that place is we're getting out of the way with our egos. So if I identify myself, even as a minister, man, you know what? Sometimes I don't like it. There's many reasons why. Because there's an imprint in Judeo-Christianity of what a minister should look like. Ministers don't curse. Ministers don't have sexual desires. Ministers don't smoke cigarettes. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Minister means to serve. So that's an ego personification that you have about what a minister should look like. And I'll break all those rules every time. I have no shoes on. Most ministers have shoes. But that's an ego thing. It's where we project onto there. Just like a doctor should act a certain way, and so should a lawyer, and so should a garbage man, and so should a prostitute. Do you know I've had more conversations and felt more safe sometimes talking to the garbage man and the prostitute than I did the lawyer and the doctor? I felt safer in my spirit with that ego, but I still didn't want them to have to identify themselves as a garbage man or woman, because it's equal opportunity, but mostly it's shown up as garbage men. I've been one. I was a garbage boy. I was only 16. That's why this scar is here. My last day of being a garbage man, I got my head cracked open with a garbage can. You know, my wake-up calls in life. But it was the understanding of, am I a garbage man? It's like, you know what I had, of all the things I plugged into the most on the book was the REV in front of my name. Because a long time ago, in my near-death experiences, one of the lessons I got was take no titles in this world except Mark. Just enough so you can recognize the human being before you. And I always say playfully that I want just enough ego left to keep me in molecular form. Because why do our molecules agree to stay in form? In reality, there's no reason for us to not just whoosh. And even with, like, you guys know I'm into quantum physics and stuff like that, but I just got to see, Neil deGrasse Tyson last night on a program talking about that dark energy and dark matter and all the stuff I'm into, and it's 95% of the universe is made of that. It's only 5% of that's the tangible stuff. But because of the dark energy and the dark matter, it's breaking the laws of gravity. It's breaking the traditional written mathematical laws and expanding everything beyond what it should be mathematically. And it's because of the dark energy, the empty space. Not dark synonymously with shadow side and evil, not that kind of dark for your mind, because that's an ego projection too of the word. Well, within us is that same expansiveness, and it's happening fast. And sometimes we can't keep up with it. And we're like, and all our little ego selves are going all over the place. So we do this dance with each other. We lock each other in place. We lock ourselves in place. If I locked myself in place as the word minister by virtue of what the Judeo-Christian upbringing in us feels like it should look like, I would have no fun. And I would be sad inside because my spirit would be closing down because I believe differently. I believe that we're all holy, whether you have an REV in front of your name or not. Take the REV off, it means to serve. So that's just one ego personification. But what about me as an author? Am I something different than I was yesterday because that book is on the table? I'm happy, I'm excited, I see a new beginning for myself, but it didn't change the person inside. That's what we do to ourselves when we lock ourselves into that ego place, and we do it to each other too. Even if the ego self that you saw that day was, I call it Rain Man to personify it. Most of us have seen the movie Rain Man, and we can fall in love with a character. So when we can personify something inside, I can fall in love with my neuroses and not beat myself up with them and flog myself with them. And though there may not be a physical scar that you can see with blood, there's an emotional, etheric scar on my body in that moment from that self-flogging because I thought I wasn't good enough unless I identified with just this part of me, instead of letting myself get out of the way and letting you get out of the way. So you are a brilliant biologist, you are a brilliant musician, you are a brilliant business acceleration person and all the wonders that you do. If I only held her there, she would not allow to be anything else. That makes me sad, man. That makes me sad. What of all the other brilliances that are not allowed to come out in front of me anyway, by virtue of how I metaphysically set that up? She may be able to shine in front of somebody else because they didn't set her up like that. We are powerfully energetic with each other. Like attracts like, magnets, we're magnets, we repel. So energetically, I would repel that part of her personality from drawing out with me. It's not that it went away, but I don't get to experience it. Well, I just cheated us both out of love, because when she's vibrating in a place of love and I stand in it, I'm basking in it, and then I am, and then you are, and it's because we let each other out of the way from it. Ram Dass is one of my favorite teachers, and I haven't even listened to him religiously because I won't. I'm not going to do that with any human being. I say, G, you are you. find the guru within you. But when you meet that other human being that tickles your soul in such a delightful way and opens within you the lessons to come floating through you, I'll regurgitate his stuff because he's just like a 5-year-old within me that I feel dancing in my soul when I repeat his words. So a lot of the things he talked about, he's like with criticisms and compliments. And I've said this one before. He's like let your criticism and compliments pass through you like Chinese food, you know, and just let it go. And then for me, as I've added to that in my own knowing, I'm like, be aware of how much you compliment me because the universe seeks balance. For every 10 compliments you give me, I'm going to have somebody give me 10 criticisms. And I might be too sensitive for that in a moment, so don't gush on me. And then as my ego gets inflated, another story he tells is about his guru who had since passed, showing up into the faces of all of these people going, oh, Ram Dass, you're so wonderful. You're so groovy. You are in the know. We should all just listen to you. And he's like, he feels himself filling up with that pride. And then all of a sudden he sees his guru's face going, ha, 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 gotcha. And I'm like, yeah, man. Now, my prayer for all of us is that we would have more of those kind of gotchas to have in our awareness, that we were getting a little playfully too full of ourselves than all that woe ego stuff that we feel of the garbage man, that he thinks he's not worthy to stand in the same line as you or me because he or she's the garbage man. And to really look around and go, well, yeah, having been one, I honor that profession. I saw the deeper picture. It's like very young, I learned that one. It's like, wow, really, thank you, garbage man, for what you do. Because if you didn't do that, everything around our houses would be yucky. So what a giveaway. Wow, they should be revered. I think we have the pay scale wrong. Actors get rich and garbage men are poor. And I appreciate a good movie. Thanks for making me laugh. You know, but does your ego warrant that many more diamonds than the garbage man? That's a social thing, and I can go on a rant about it. But it's a social ego setup, and we do that socially too. So now we got 350 million egos thinking that those egos are better and deserve glitz and glamour because they all said they did. That's the only reason, man. They're the ones who became narcissists and said, venerate me, and we said, okay. Now, there's an underlying psyche thing that happened in us. It's because we have all those little egos inside that are living vicariously through them. You know, I said something to Scott recently, and there was like a dual part lesson in this. It's like, I know that I have my moments where in my weirdness or whatever I perceive it and beat myself up with that word of the stuff that happens to me cosmically, that I've gone in a shell sometimes. But I'll say, but yes, but from within my shell, I can see the universe. Then I heard another voice said one day, yes, and outside your shell, you can experience it. And it was a really neat lesson because inside that shell, there's still an experience going on for me, a very profound one, which is why I've hung out there a lot, because it's really neat and blissful and like cosmic, and like I've had harder times matching it on the outside. But when I got that ego thought, because just personify them, just let them, it's another character. Look, we had other people come up today and grab the mic, right, and talk. So if you can do that with yourself and really play with it, and then be in that, and if you want to do it in a mirror, and then blah, 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 or even if it's thought, and then leave. And then look. And you might not have a microphone at your house that's convenient like that, but you have a mirror. And then be silly with it. Be silly with it, to really spread it out and dramatize it is my point, so that you feel like there's really a new scene and a new actor coming on the stage about to do their monologue, say what's going on. And that's a way to discover who's running your show too. There's this new movie called Inside Out, and it's really fun, it's really playful, and it's like they nailed it. And a long time ago they did it with the movie with Michael Keaton called Multiplicity. I'm like, that was brilliant and playful and wonderful. So as they evolved in it and got more and more, it's like, Marcy and I used to do a process called voice dialogue, where you really, really, really get out of the way and those personalities could come up, and sometimes it'll freak people out because the more you get out of the way with it and make the deal with the protective selves that would be the layers of in the way, you'd be amazed at how clean and clear, and you won't remember the session. It's almost like you channeled. They'll have to tell you what the kid said or what that personality said, the more you're able to get out of your way. So mental hypnosis. I was thinking the mentalist. When people are mentalists and they can power suggestion and hypnosis, the only reason they're able to do that is because you let somebody get out of the way. Now, sometimes that could be a good thing. Not saying good. Sometimes it will serve you. Sometimes it will disserve you. Because if I'm not strong enough in my sense of self, that I let myself get swayed out of the way and let you project what you think my ego is, then I'm going to be really your puppet, aren't I? And then every time I show up in front of you, that ego self is going to come up that obliges what you think of me. And that's how, I mean, that we limit ourselves. We want to be one. We want to understand the dimensions. Course of Miracles, albeit how it was channeled and what you believe in how it was channeled, has all these words of wisdom when it comes of that separation self and that misthought. And that ego self is really just a misthought. So we have all these different books that are showing us deflate ego, adapt, and all the clinical psychological teachings of ego, and I'm really trying to throw them away and just personify them as characters within yourself, because it's like ego became a bad word. That's why I was trying to make this talk playful with, hey, let go my ego / ego, and let me let go of yours too. Like I was saying a moment ago, if I honor her only for the brilliance of her biologist, then I don't get the rest. The more. Well, if I only do that with myself, then I don't get the more either. And it's like I'm still discovering. We're still discovering every single moment. It's like I'm not done yet. I haven't walked my last step, breathed my last breath, beat my last beat. So there's more. So that means there's going to be more for me to learn and discover about me, though. It doesn't mean I don't have to learn about you. That's what you share with me. So it's really none of my business to have an opinion about who you are, because it's changing. If I tell you who I am, all I really am telling you is who I've been, right? We've all heard that sentence before. All I can really share with you is, if everything is now like we believe, is this precious moment. But what do we do? Now, I'm not going to sing this song to you because the whole lyrics of the song doesn't apply, but there's a song by Bruce Springsteen called Glory Days. And if you remember the refrain in it, it's glory days, well, they'll pass you by. Glory days in the wink of a young girl's eye. Glory days, glory days, glory days. And I'm like, dang. How many times have we just hung out in an old ego? Oh, well, when I was 25, I could run 10 miles a day. And I could bench press, and I could do this, and I had women all over me, and I was hot this and this, blah, 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 blah. Glory days, in the wink of a young girl's eye, glory. And it's okay to have those memories and to do that, but then I got sick, and then I gained weight, and then I was unhealthy, and then I couldn't, and then I was that ego, and where did the girls go, and where did the people go, and where did that, and then I forgot I was sick. I forgot that I was sick. I forgot I got sick. I forgot my body went there. And I believed in that other guy again, and all of a sudden there was girls all around. And that's just a little example, right? It's just a silly little example. But boy, it had nothing to do with what my body did it? Had nothing to do with anything except who I let at the show. Who was holding the mic? So if I'm doing stand-up and I'm doing it all dry and two frogs walked into a bank. Say again? Right? But if that's who I let do my comedy show, you may never laugh. Because you don't feel the vibe. There's no charisma there. You just didn't feel it. It's kind of planned that night. And it can have been the same routine I did the night before where I had a standing ovation. So it's that ego self that I all of a sudden that brought back. Oh yeah, that's right, I'm that. I forgot. I'm unworthy again. Just put that word in there instead. Oh yeah, that's right, I'm not worthy, I'm unworthy. And then you walk around and manifest that, and all the unworthy things come to you because that's what you asked the Cosmic Kitchen. Yes, I'd like 2 plates of unworthy, please, with a dose of no one wants me on top. Little side of feeling shitty. And a spoon of they don't care. And then all of a sudden one day you wake up and maybe you just got a good night's sleep. Maybe you ate healthy the day before. Maybe you went for a walk and you released some endorphins, because we are chemical beings too. Maybe you did one thing different, had one thought different, saw something that made you cry, smile, move. Remember, in the word emotion, the whole part of the word is motion. There's only one little E in front of it. It's motion. That's the biggest part of that word. So maybe something moved you that you didn't even realize moved you. And then you wake up that day, and because of that first thought, it was good, you eat healthy. And then you feel good from there. And then that ego self that feels good about itself is the one who gets to hold the mic all day. And then you go out into the world and you notice people are drawn to you. Women, men, doesn't matter. The sexuality are just drawn to you. Just drawn to you. Like they're standing in line and they start telling you their whole life story. And like they know you for years, and you stay. and then it's okay with you too. Because on that other ego day, you're like, we just got, who the hell is this person? But on this day, you're like, ooh, this is neat. They're just opening right up to me. And it's all that shift on the inside. But I didn't have to kill anybody, did I? I didn't have to really kill that ego deflation, that depth type thing. It's like, as I look in the glory days of it and go, okay, yeah, man, let him be alive and well. Let her be alive and well. But don't let them hold the microphone so much that I don't get to do something else glorious. Whatever it may be. How do I know that my most glorious moment out of all the things I do, and on all the things I write, and all the things I think I've given to this world, and my mission is, how do I know that the most glorious thing that I've ever done was hug a strange child on a moment she was crying, and from there had a ripple effect that she became the president of the United States, or cured cancer, or did something astonishing in this life that benefited all of humankind. And all those things I thought I did, to, like when the girls did that one scenario where they made fun of our workshop. You have to see the tape one day. When they did the skit, it was funny. They made fun of me and Scott, like, yeah, and they'll think they helped us like that, when it was really the inside job of all our wonder. So how do I know, in all the wonderful things I think I've done in the world in my ego, so yes, I've added to the world. Yes, Spirit, I'm eligible to come in. That is, he goes, no, and she, all that is like, Mark, that wasn't the list. Remember that day you hugged that little kid just to give her a hug? That was the day, because she went on and saved the world. And she wouldn't have, because that day made a difference, because if she was cranky the rest of the day, her mom was going to hit her. And if her mom hit her, it was going to bring her into this weird self-abuse thing and make her go in a shell. She would have never come out. But you gave her a hug and she was happy the rest of the day, and her mom never lost it. Whatever, make up whatever scenario you want. Anything that can be thought of can happen. We did a short story a long time ago when I did the talk, The Butterfly Effect, of how sending a goat from a small community church like us, just like us, to some family in Africa made the difference for the little girl in that family to be able to go to school, which she wasn't going to be able to. But now the family had that extra goat to make the more milk and the more cheese, and they didn't have to have her do it. So she could go to school, because now they have 2 goats that paid for the money that she would have had to been doing work to earn. And then she came back from America in that college education, and started empowering the young girls there and teaching them. And that was a true story. Wow, what a little ripple effect from somebody getting out of the way. Next week, we're going to be talking about the broader good. That's kind of part of that. Let me just look at my notes. They're in my notes for the whole talk. It's just a couple bullet points, just because I didn't want to forget a couple things. So one of the things that happens with that ego self is sometimes there's pain in it, and we're afraid to deal with the ego because we don't want to deal with the pain. We don't want to experience the pain. So I've been trying to likening it lately for people to surfing. I'm like, it's a wave. We have to understand that it's a pulsating wave of pain, and there's been many masters, gurus, whatever we want to call them, that have been able to go inside and tap into that, and they would still feel the pain, but it didn't hurt. And they were able to ride it. And some have said and noticed that even riding pain through a doorway into a different dimension to where now a cosmic thing happened, and pain was the catalyst. So it didn't necessarily have to be drugs or laughter emotions. But we also know that emotions are a doorway to different dimensions as we express them. And sometimes we're afraid to express them because they hurt. So let's get back to the wave. The object of surfing is to go way out into the water, wait for a wave, get on your board, and when you do that, it will always bring you into the shore. So when we're willing to ride the wave, it will always bring us home. We have to have that faith, and we have the evidence for every surfer we've ever seen get on the board, ride the wave, and it brought them home. But did you notice that thing when you're afraid to ride the wave and you let it go by and you're standing there, and what happens? The next one hits you in the back and knocks you on your ass. And then your surfboard's all over the place, and if you've got the shock cord on it, it's like, and you're like, and then you get drug underneath with the sand and skin burn elbows type thing. And that was because you're afraid to jump on the wave because it was a perfect wave. You just didn't commit to it. And then you were looking at it the whole time, resenting the fact that you didn't jump on the wave, so you didn't focus on what was coming. And it slapped you right in the back. But if we trust the wave, we'll know it will always bring us back home. So in our ego work, we have to be willing to experience the feeling of it. If I am feeling sad because that 25-year-old guy who could run 10 miles straight and bench press whatever he could bench press and do all the things he could do physically, if I'm feeling sad because that ego self can't perform like that anymore, and I identified myself as it only, then I have to do that work. And I have to feel that pain and go, okay, maybe there's a grief. Maybe there's a grief. Just like anything that I have to let go of, I would have to grieve to let go of that part of myself. What do we do when our friends are changing, but we still want to be friends? We have to do the same work on the inside, man. And it's hard sometimes because sometimes we notice our friends changing in patterns that freak us out because maybe we're not changing in that same pattern, but we have enough wherewithal in us to know that, well, I can probably hang out in that. You have to ask yourself the question is, can you hang out in that behavior? Can you hang out in this new scenario? Can you hang out with this new ego self of this person? And if all your answers are yes, then grieve what you had to let go of because you're going to say goodbye to them. What if you all got sober together? I'm going to have to say goodbye to the guy or the gal that we hung out with that used to drink and get drunk together. We have to grieve that part, but yet we still want to be friends. So we're healing that. We're not identifying ourselves as addicts or drunks anymore, in my opinion, and moving forward to that new, clean, and healthy self, and still get to hang out with each other. We have to do the work. We have to do the grieving. We have to say goodbye. However it shows up in your body, something's got to be done to have that other catharsis, that other movement, and being willing to get on the surfboard and ride it in when you want to. So I was going to do a writing thing today, but we're running out of time, and it's good because it's fun. You can do it as homework. And what I'm inviting people to do is to simply go inside and see where your own ego is limiting you from being the more in yourself. It's like anything that I'm thinking that I am, and then owning it, and is it serving me or just serving me? So is this ego self, this personality, this character serving me or in my way of having more? And now do the same thing with what you do with people. How many of my friends do I have a projected ego in front of me that I've got them like Velcro to the wall with or on the hook with? Like, this is who they are, period. Exclamation point, mortar and cement and steel. Everything. Titanium, it's even stronger. And then they wonder when I walk by why they're pissed at me. Or I wonder when I walk by why they're pissed at me. It's like when I just put them in a cage. But I said, I love you. I love you. You're so this, and this. How many had your friend? And you're like, I feel like I just got slimed. And then they said they love me. So be aware of that and do that homework and be aware of how we do it to ourselves. Be aware of when that comes up, what I have to do to let go of my ego from that silly place. No more shooting it, no more skeet shooting, killing it. Ego deflation at depth. I'm like and shriveled up into, no one wants to shrivel. If who in there is going to want to come up to the stage and tell you how they feel if they know your objective is to deflate them at depth? I'll just stay in my room with all my neuroses, thank you very much, and I'll never tell another soul ever. But if they have permission to know that, I was telling somebody the other day, it's like so I always use this as an example, that paranoid part of us, right? He's like, he's paranoid. He's paranoid about anybody coming in. There, oh look, someone's there. They're going to get us. They're going to get us. Who? The postman, the mailman. That's the same thing. The milkman, the lady at the store. Anybody, right? So what do they want to do? What's the most paranoid part of me wants to do? He wants to watch for people coming. So I'm like, okay, here's your job. You get to watch the door wherever we go. You get to watch the door and tell me if someone's coming. Really? Yep. You get to shout as loud as you want. Someone's coming. Thank you. It's a nun. We're okay. But thank you. When we give those people their other jobs, then they have it to do. And then when you want the personality that's going to serve the moment, they'll be right there going, yep, I'm ready. What are we doing? Well, we're about to sing. I can sing. I know. That's why I called you. It's like, and then the next thing is like, what? He sits down. Your scientist comes up. We're about to go into the business meeting. Got all the facts and figures right here, boss. We're ready to do our presentation. Cool. We won't be singing this. We'll be saying it. Oh, I know. I sat him down. He's watching the door with the paranoid guy. He'll be singing him sweet songs so the paranoid guy doesn't get too paranoid during the meeting. Give him another job. They're allowed to hang out with each other. They don't always all have to be alone. How big a house do you have? Sit them down at the table, feed them. Hey, you guys hang out. Sometimes it's like at a wedding. Who am I going to sit with who? So go in and figure out who sits best with who. We're going to have family reunions all the time anyway, and we all know what that looks like. Has anybody ever gotten past a family reunion without somebody going, did you see what she just did? It's all good. Like Ram Dass says, don't think your neuroses are going to go away. They're going to come back and visit you at any time. Just call them in and invite them in for tea. Thank you. Omataku.